Good afternoon and good morning. This is Mark Johnson from Loyalty 360. Welcome you to our ongoing Thought Leadership in Loyalty series. Today we're talking to Ewan White, Senior Vice President of Consumer Markets at dunnhumby USA. dunnhumby recently launched a Customer Centricity Index model that measures customers' perceptions of how well retailers meet their needs and wants. dunnhumby's first report profiles the food service retail industry. Ewan, nice to meet you. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
The first question we have today, as part of dunnhumby's Customer Centricity Index model, you've identified 7 key areas that define customer centricity. They are experience, loyalty, communications, assortment, promotions, price, and feedback. Which area do you think businesses find the easiest to implement, and which area is the most difficult?
I would say that generally organizations find the easiest to implement as well as take a one-size-fits-all approach, and I think that can kind of span across the pillars. So traditionally in areas like pricing or communications, I think where the challenge is, again, across all of the pillars, is where they can differentiate and become more personalized. And I think if you look ahead to the future, I think more and more of the pillars will, new technologies will allow you to become more personalized. So I think that's the challenge for organizations looking forward. Is how they move from mass through to much more personalized, even across channels like TV and pricing and things that were traditionally kind of one size fits all.
Excellent. At Loyalty 360, we believe that the cauldron call for today's marketing strategies is engagement. Where does engagement fit into customer centricity, and how do you define engagement?
I think engagement comes when you get beyond functional loyalty into something more emotional, and which leads to advocacy. I think loyalty, if just defined by frequency and value, can come through convenience or just ease of access. But it's when organizations get it right across the pillars and create deeper engagements with customers that it really leads to brand advocacy.
Excellent. With the advent of social, mobile, and other emerging technologies, how do brands effectively improve their customer centricity in this challenging and very dynamic marketing environment?
I think it's about using the new channels, or maybe not using the new channels in the old ways. So it's not using the new channels in order to do mass targeting or new acquisition. I think it's recognizing that these new channels are new ways to engage customers in different ways, that sending out offers or mass messages is not going to work. We see as an industry, email open rates have declined by 50% in the last 2 years. I think when you get the offer right, it's relevant and it's meaningful. We've seen within our work, email open rates actually increase by 50, 60, 70% and completely buck the trend. But I think it's making sure you use the new channels not in the old ways, but in a way that is relevant and targeted.
Excellent. What are the challenges that you saw specific to the food service industry, and where is the greatest opportunity within this vertical?
I think traditionally food service, and particularly fast food within food service, have had a very strong focus on the functional and hygiene factors around service, clean toilets, prices, and those kinds of things. I think the opportunity and the challenge is to get deeper level of engagement with customers. I think some companies have done it really well, like Starbucks and Panera, but I think within fast food, it's still very much about the hygiene factors, and I don't think that's really engendered loyalty. I think there's a lot of switching that happens between those areas, and I think there's a big opportunity within that sector to engage customers more deeply.
Excellent. Loyalty 360 believes that loyalty is the most important facet to consider in any marketing strategy. How can one create loyalty when so many technologies are focused on mass acquisition of customers, which may or may not be effectively aligned to the product offering? Any advice on how people can use a more customer-centric approach?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we're seeing a really strong correlation between customer centricity and same-store sales growth. So I think there's absolutely a kind of a path which is focusing on loyal customers, deeply understanding your best customers, and doing everything you can to tailor the offer to your best customers. there's a fairly universal statistic we see across industries that half of the spend of even the frequent customers happen outside of the organisation. So there's a lot of headroom with loyal customers, and I think that headroom is there to be gained. I think any kind of activity around acquisition can lead to short-term lift, but really we've kind of proven out that the model of focusing on loyal customers creates loyalty, which creates long-term sustainable sales. But really that really goes back to focusing on the customer, understanding the customer deeply, and personalising the experience at every kind of touch point.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your insight today. We look forward to hearing from you additionally in 2013.
Thank you.